Final storm. Shocking damage AoE when knocked out. Oh. Are you kidding? That glove is amazing. Oh my god. Superb robe is amazing. For me. I really want to give myself millions of gold so I can just buy all this. Right now, I mean.
Keeping an eye out. Leave it to me.
Okay, okay.
I'll see it done.
Water Shapers Guild. Okay. That sounds promising. And exciting.
Takehu, you have shirked your duties for the last time, I say.
A guild master in the finest role stared down at a sizable blue-skinned Amawa before her. Students observed the exchange in a loose circle, exchanging whispers.
Guildmaster, be reasonable.
He tosses an Amonin hair, which glows faintly with each bulbous strand settles in place.
I skipped one lecture to travel up the mountain. Still, the palace is closed until you present me before Onikaza.
He crosses his arm and raises one eyebrow. The murmur of the crowd grow in volume.
You went alone. I asked for patience, but as usual, you make a trench out of a tide pool.
She pacifies her tone, suddenly conscious of the onlooker. Huh. Looks like a disobedient fish slipped through the net.
Akira, I might not complain if someone slapped him with an oar.
My patience wears thin, old shark. You have stifled me enough for one trip through Rakuhu's bowels.
In spite of their obvious age difference, Tenaku raises an instructive finger to the guildmaster. She flares her nostrils and takes a deep breath.
I say Ngati weeps at her petulant spectacle of a child.
He's the guild child of Ngati, Andra, the goddess of the sea.
Akira, the significance is clearer to some than others.
He waves towards the guildmaster with the back of his hand.
For a water shaper who treasures his duty to the goddess, you spend too many days cavorting at the brothel.
The guildmaster sidesteps Tenaku and takes a long stride away from the circle, sparing another glance at Tenaku before the crowd disperses.
Ugh, insufferable.
Tenaku sighs and smooths back his hair. He turns his attention to you with a raised eyebrow.
Did you need something? Or is it enough to bask in perfection?
Tenaku grins and opens a palm, inviting you to speak. I take it you and the guildmaster don't get along.
Kira, I bring art to the Guild of Water Shapers, but they do not tolerate expression here. What I am is to blame, I say.
And a godlike?
Just so. Blessed and cursed at birth, I say. Water shaping is Ngati's gift to the Huana, and apparently I am too. Savior to the tribes.
He folds his arm in grimace. Sounds like they put a lot of pressure on you.
The only question is, do I return to my duties, or while away a few hours in the bathhouse?
Tenaku tugs his hair and purses his lips. Considers your responsibility first.
The guild can wait until I am good and ready to return.
Have you got something to tell the crown?
Kara, I sent the prince a missive and heard nothing back.
Taneku crosses his arm in
He
sighs.
is a busy warrior in a time of peace, I say.
Let's go talk to him together then. Being a watcher tends to open doors.
A watcher? And here I am, used to being the freak of Pariki's overlook.
He rests a hand on his hip and grins.
What does a watcher do?
I'm an intermediary between here and the in-between.
Ikera. Just so.
He chokes his chin, nodding.
I say I am no sailor, and I know even less about death. I am an artist.
He stirs his finger through the air, drawing it together, dropping some moisture into an orb of water that floats over his palm.
My peers do not understand. Water shaping to them is like studying calligraphy. To brew ink and sort parchment.
He lets an orb fall to the ground and splashes his feet. If your ability can drown our enemies, you can call it whatever you like.
Will we do much fighting then? Ikera, a pity.
He scratches the back of his head.
You are not unknown to me, I say. Whispers of an Adra Colossus reach my ears, and louder whispers of a corpse who follows him.
Taneku raises one of his eyebrows.
What will you do when you catch up to this walking god?
That'll be for the rest of the gods to decide.
They will, I say, have bickering thoughts on the matter. If it untangles me from the guild's apron strings, then you can mount me as the figurehead of your fair ship.
Takehu inclines his head and touches the circular markings on his brow.
Our quarters may smell of fish before long, but your crew will be more beautiful by association, I say.
He winks. Let's be off.
Lead on. It will be good to put some distance between myself and the guild, even if we find less savory places along the way. A fair warning, Captain. Ingati gifted her favorite son with more than his stunning complexion.
Taneku tosses his hair and sighs contemptuously. Are you hiding an anglerfish lure under the robe?
Leave the lure out of this, Captain. I say you will learn. In time.
He winks, his eyes suddenly dark and beats polished onyx. I can have another chanter. Druid and chanter? No, just be a druid.
Words, Captain.
As you turn to Taneku, a shadow passes over you as you feel tug from somewhere deep within his soul. A faint ripple seizes the air between you two of you like a forest of eternal kelp. Surrender to the sensation. Taneku's soul vibrates with an energetic, almost too lively to occupy a mortal shell. There is a bright thread of energy that trails away from him. You instinctively follow it. You stand tall in the grand hall under the water, cloaked in oppressive shadows. Pillars of coral, bone, reaches to support the ceiling that must be hundreds of fathoms away. Chandeliers lit with bioluminescence glow dangle from long ropes, swaying in languid, rectangular motion. At the farthest end of the hall sits Andra, as tall as a castle keep and leaning forward in her throne. She has adopted the head of an angler fish and regards you with his gall-wheeler stare. Her sickle-shaped jaw opens and closes with rictus of conflicted emotions.
A life without friction or challenge has left the boy in need of guidance.
The voice of Andra pounds at your mind with relentless force.
He thinks himself frail, but my heart beats in his chest. He is stronger than either of you could know.
She claps her hand and vision shatters, flooding the hall with a deluge of awareness as you return to your senses. Regarding you with a worm smile, Taneku first seems oblivious to your momentary detachment, then his brow furrow with concern.
Captain, what say? You look a little blue about the gills.
Andra just reached out to me.
Ingati spoke to you.
Skeptical, Taneku carried his chin and considered.
To leave her son guessing. Oh, this is my tricksome mother through and through.
She seems to care about your well-being.
What mother doesn't? You must be special indeed for Ingati to speak with words. For her people, she lays out cryptic stepping stones hidden in omens. Kara, but send her my fondest wishes.
Where do you live prior to Nekata?
The Kahanga are my tribe, but my people settled on Atua, an island too modest to deserve the attention of maps. My mortal mother tans boar hides. My father trades in the abundance of pearls and opals Atua is blessed to provide. When I was born, Father called me his blue topaz boy.
Takeo scratches the back of his head and grins. Have any other notable godlike come to Etua?
Doubtless, I say. But I am the most precious gem of recent history. Godlike are revered as bringers of local change, but only Ngati's Chosen is thought to deliver an omen for all Huana at once.
Your birth must have been a big event.
Ikera, high winds stirred the vigor of the seas. 2 huts collapsed before our local storm speaker could shout down the weather.
He beams with pride.
They say the skies only cleared when I fell into the midwife's basket. Peace had returned to the island. Or so the Mataru predicted.
What did you do around the island?
Oh, I could not be kept from the water. So my father taught me how to dive for pearls and azada snails. Ngati filled my palms with riches on every harvest, I say. When I came of an age to begin a man's pursuits, the Mataru reached out to the Kahanga Queen. Weighing my arrival against the forces that descended on her territory, the Queen could not invite Ngati's Chosen into the Watershapers Guild fast enough. In hard times, the endorsement of a goddess is more valuable than currency. Akara, speak on.
Tell me about water shaping.
The art of our ancestors, I say. To bend water to our will is a gift from Mother Ngati to her chosen people.
Teheku stands tall and grins with pride.
Since devastation swept our way of life out to sea, too much of the art has been lost. Periki, founder of the guild, organized the lore of Ngati's talent into a series of postures and meditations we call the 4 forms of water shaping.
What are the forms?
Try as we might to embody Ngati's element, our bodies are not water. Ikera, this is the form of grief, a beginner's test.
Teheku closes his eyes and sweeps out his hand, exhaling sharply.
The body's internal water is a force that conquers all. Even the mountain will bow to the stream. The form of hope, I say.
Teheku crosses one of his legs before the other sways on the spot.
Water commands its vessel, and the vessel can be shaped as surely as the mountain. The form of metamorphosis, Ikera?
Teheku opened his eyes, which now resemble polished onyx. His smile is hungry, predatory. He blinks on the effects gone.
The art is a challenge to grasp, difficult to master, and impossible to perfect. Unless you are Ngati's Chosen, I say.
You said there were 4 forms.
It is only by force of habit that I omit the final form. We do not speak of it in the guild. The form of transcendence.
Teheku closes his eyes and concentrates, holding out his palm. He bites his lower lip and focuses. Finally, he shakes his head and stands at ease once more.
Only a story, I say. Even crafty Periki could not commit this ancient form to her scrolls. It was said that our ancestors could shape the very oceans of the Deadfire. This was Ngati's true gift, but we have yet to recover it from the ruins of our past. Try as we the art is a challenge.
Okay then.
Of course.
A young Juana holds out his hand to catch an incoming missile. He winces in concentration and an orb of water rises and floats mid-air. Sweat drips down from his nose. Teheku clears his throat loudly. He flinches. In that instant, the water loses all its shape and splashes on the floor. Crestfallen, he sighs and drops his stance.
Damn it, Tikehu, why? I almost had it that time.
Not even close. If you want to achieve the second form, you will need to loosen that posture. Spending a day submerged in the bathhouse always helped me.
He smirks.
Did you need something?
He nods to you and shakes his arm, readying himself for another try. You seem to be having trouble.
I can feel the connection to Andra just like Myru taught me. But there's something missing. Maybe it's my form.
Hum to yourself. Always help me concentrate.
Humming, huh? Never fancied myself a musical type.
He squints, weighing your word.
Suppose I'll give anything a try.
He nods to you and resume practice. Any advice to help a friend here with his water shaping, Teheku?
Remain loose, but not too loose. Confine yourself, but spread out at all times.
He nods, passing you with a secret smile.
Like this?
Waru shuffles his feet apart and squeezes his shoulder together, looking for Teheku for approval.
Perfect. Keep at it, and you'll be teaching me the fourth form in no time.
He clasps Waru on his shoulder, upsetting his
Suppose
stance.
I'll give anything a try.
He nods at you and resumes his practice. See, that's why I want to bring, like, companions with me, but I hate it.
Leave it to me.
Like, I want to bring companions with me, but then I'm missing out on a lot of dialogue.
You have questions for me. Speak up, I say.
Guildmaster Maru holds his arm and folds her arm and nods. Tell me about the guild.
Vikira, my pleasure. Water shaping is a talent bestowed on the Huana by the goddess Ngati. Hariki was the first in recent memory to organize the talent into a series of teachable forms. What else would you like to know?
Where do the water shapers get their power?
Our art is the yield of the Huana's ancient covenant with the goddess. Our ancestors pledged to protect the luminous Adra, the islands, and the tribes. Ngati gifted us with the strength to keep our promise.
What do the water shapers do exactly?
We control tides, prevent storm damage, and keep unwelcome ships at bay. Of course, you already know Takehu, our prized pupil. We represent the best of Huana achievement. No small responsibility. Akira, speak.
Okay.
Speak your mind. You have questions?
Well, I'll take care of it.
Let's go to the guild ruins. I could have had 3 chanters. 3 chanters. All the summons.
I'll see it.
The sanctum is looking wetter than usual, I say.
Leave it to me.
This stone door is shut. A few engraved symbols stands out among all the carving and inscription. Apart from that, you find no evidence means opening it away. Faded inscription nestled among its elaborate stone carving. Search for a lock mechanism. You search through much of the door of each carving. You come upon a stone panel that seems to protect the internal mechanism. The panel remains fixed and unmoving. Read the inscription. Huana runes decorate the stone entrance. Nagati would not have lifted her chosen people, a watery covenant, unless they persist in deserving it. This sanctum is coveted of our making. Only the sigil of the covenant and the word of my devotion will open the way. Someone chuckles. Your aim and laughter from your party abruptly goes quietly. Okay, so I need something. The statue depicts an Amawa woman, her hand extended in the grasping air, and a road plaque sits by her feet. Something about the statue calls out to you. The echo of fractured soul and Atari in this place for long thoughtful years. You feel victory tinged by grief and regret. Inspect the lingering soul. Your vision bobs with the motion of the area, and you stand aboard the deck of a swift wind where your mates share bemusement. Congratulatory glances as they work. One of them claps your back with approval. You step back and aim the reproachful look at your mate, however friendly his intent. You know there will be time to reprieve when you are squared away in Nexaka. Something cuts through the water to your port side, an enormous shape just beneath the waves. Someone shouts to the wind that you have turned in your favor at last. This followed by an enthusiastic cheer among the crew. You don't share their mirth. Eyes on the horizon, I say. You bring home a mighty gift, though it takes an unusual form, one that you pray to Nagati you are able to keep in check. The vision dissipates and your legs reassert themselves. Hold her hand. You grasp her hand with tenderness. At first nothing happens, but then a tiny droplet of water forms in the corner of her eye and rolls down the cheek, dripping on the floor. Wipe away the tear. Reach out and draw your thumb down the statue's cheek, wiping away the trail of moisture. For a moment the stone feels soft to the touch. Attempt to read the plaque. The words are much eroded and water damaged, but a few choice of snippets and phrases stands out with clarity. Pariki, Lore, and Hunter. Cross the length of and back again. Remember for. Cunning deal. Lapis, may her rest. Mutually soul freedom. Probably. Closer scrutiny revealed the inscription was purposely marred, an act of sabotage done perhaps years ago. By the thoroughness you suspect Kith's hands.
This is the tomb of Periki. Such disrepair, I say.
Teheko tuts and sighs.
I see something.
What say, friend? The guild's sanctum has seen better days.
The young water shaper leans on his broom and smiles at you. What do you do here?
Simply a caretaker. I dust off Periki's tomb and try to keep the place tidy. Caring for the guild hall usually means drying off what others get wet in practice.
Akaino shakes his head and with a weary smile. What's behind that stone door by the staircase?
A sanctum for master water shapers, I say. No students or outsiders allowed. I have never been there myself. Myru assures me the room has no need of cleaning.
He shrugs, smiling. The inscription by Perky's tomb has been defaced.
Water damage, I thought.
Akaino scratches the back of his head.
I say it's been that way since I got here, but I cannot recall if the former steward ever mentioned it.
He shrugs, smiling. Are you a water shaper?
Akira. One of middling skill, if I am generous. Not all of us can boast of Takehu's talent. But Nagati touches us differently, I say. The guild didn't used to allow outsiders the freedom of our halls. Akira. But how times change.
Leave it to me. I'll see it done. Leave it to me. Oh, there's something ahead. Leave it to me. I'll see it done. Leave it to me.
Nothing you can do there yet, so let's just leave. Actually, let's go talk to the guild master first. Maybe a new option has popped up or something.
Once a stranger,
Never mind. Get the fuck out of here. Okay, let's go to the luminous bathhouse. I haven't forgotten.
I see you brocht your pain, but you need come to ease it. Pity.
A venerable elf sits behind the water, her creased and spotted skin lightly flushed by the heat. Numerous scars mar her skins on face and torso alike. Her eyes open and her sharp gaze focuses on you. You're Udine, right? We've heard of you know where. We heard you know where you can find Romaro.
Udina I am, but I can't know Romaro, least none that hadna returned to the wheel.
It would mean a lot to a friend of mine if you would help us.
Then maybe you should have brought your friend with you.
She smiles sadly. What's bringing you to the bathhouse?
It eases my pain. More than that is an awful long yarn, and then to lickly.
I like to hear it.
I fecht in the broken stone war some 2 centuries gone by now. I left the woods of a deer for the eastern reach. I claimed to seek to protect our colonists, but in truth, I sought the glory of battle. Glory were nae to be had. Truth be telt, I hold luckier than most. The Orlans o' Ayr Glanfath wielded blades that sheathed spirit as easily as flesh. Some of mine fellas were slaughtered body and soul.
You speak of mine hunters, Glenfath and warrior ciphers.
Aye, that I do. And a downright vicious bunch they are.
What happened to you?
One weird o' the will of the gods one. A farmer near a Boots log home invited the soldiers for dinner. 'Twas hairst, and the crop was rowdy. She and her man devised us a braw and gusty feast. Deer pie and salmon, a stew of cabbage, carrots, and potatoes. Squash roasted with pine nuts, and the sweetest honey bread I ever tasted.
A weak smile spread across her mouth.
The Glanfathans riled the animals. By then we caught the trick, so the captain bade the farmer's family stay within. We skipped into the necht, approached the thick swine, and the arrows began to fall.
The smile has faded. Go on. She exhaled a long, thin sigh.
Ah, the shelter folk, hunters and kempers bred, aimed their arrows true, and 2 of us fell immediately. The Orlans rashed us then, small and shady, visible only by the violet flames that lit their blades. We drank it that firm in blood, both sides. In the end, only I remained, standing in the farmhouse door, holding mine innards in, waiting for another cocksfeather to come and finish the work. I only lived because of that farmer. She sewed me up, fed me till I had health enough to stand. She said she owned me, but
She shakes her head.
I think we both conned that we brought the trouble upon them with our presence. The raiders had been too many a slecht a simple farmhouse.
Your wounds trouble you still.
The pine bothered me little in mine youth. I fought ye. I set flames to black trees. I took arms again, the uprising at New Dunreed. After that, little welcome remained me in the new Duke's Kintra, and I travelled northward. Yet with age, the old wounds show new depth. By my count, I've suffered 18 arrows and half again as many stabbings. That I yet live testifies to either my stubbornness or that of the gods. I ranged for years seeking a balm for the growing pine. Drink helped for a time, svev for another. Now, only these baths, infused with adra, dull the agony.
You fought against the Direward independence.
Aye, I did. At the time it seemed recht. Now, I feel less certain.
Thank you for sharing your story.
Aye. Thank you for listening. Few day. Less there's anything you need, please, let me to mine water. It eases my pain. More less there's I felt glory were nae to be had. Truth be telt, aye, 'twas. One which she the Glanfathans riled the animals. By then, less there's anything you need, Please, it teases my pine. I feck glory were nae to be had.
Really?
Truth be telt, when we're she the glan fathin. I think we both can't the pine yet with age. The old wounds show new depth. By my count, I've suffered 18 arrows and half again as many stabbings. Lest there's anything you need. Please, Udina I am. But I can't know Romaro, least none that hadna returned to the wheel.
I have a letter from Romaro, said to seek you
I
here.
canna speak to your letter. Maybe it weren't meant for you.
Okay, I'll bring the stupid dude here.
The cost of enjoying the bathhouse's unique offering is 1,000 copper per session.
The bathhouse steward crosses his arm and smiles. His looks hold an invitation, but a warning too.
Takehu! A pleasure to see you back so soon. On whose copper do you visit this time?
The bathhouse steward does nothing to conceal his amusement.
Today I thank Mother Ngati for my captain's deep pockets.
As the chuckle fades, Tentacle favors you with a alongside
Stronger
sidelong
than he
glance.
looks, I say. An accomplished underwater wrestler.
I see.
Will you be enjoying a dip in the waters then? Would you care to enjoy the bath's offerings? The price is 1,000 copper.
Why so much?
A prudent question.
He draws himself to full height and found his hands behind his
The
back.
bath waters are infused with hand-refined luminous adra, which promotes a holistic balance of the humors. Because of luminous adra's remarkable qualities, it is also a significant investment to both supply and maintain. Ganor may tell you more if you're curious. He is something of an amateur alchemist, in addition to being a businessman of remarkable skill and insight.
Next, you'll tell me Luminous Aura grants bathers eternal life.
Would that it were so. Ganor would make good money, and perhaps I would receive a raise, yes?
Bathhouse steward chuckles heartily. When have you ever known men such as Ganon to share their spoils?
You, I like. We see eye to eye on many things, I suspect.
He lets out a bark of laughter.
A small discount for you, friend. For making me laugh. Not
Farewell.
Is this your first time to the baths?
An old man stretches out his arm over his head and yawns, making a show of displaying his moistened physique. I haven't been in the water yet.
The cost is high, but so are the delights. I might have the skin and bones of a retired scarecrow, but the waters bring youth back, where it counts.
He studies you for an under lower brow, and his knee begins to drift apart. Why not?
If only we had a bit of privacy. Maybe in another life, eh?
He winks, sighing to himself and catching his breath.
Couldn't stay away, could you?
I hope we haven't spent too much time in the baths.
Oh, it's fine. I don't work here.
I see. My thanks for clearing that up.
In any case, we hope you enjoy your time.
What's bringing you to the bathhouse?
I am helping Herwina to conceive. She came all the way from the Deerwood, and I will see that she returns with arms laden with young.
Cindy grins her way.
After the Hollowborn crisis, I wanted no child of mine born in those blighted lands. This place is a miracle. Every day I emerge from the baths as a new woman, and my first child will be as strong as an Adra pillar.
He looks at Cindy with a bright smile. I don't think that guarantees result.
Is that true?
She blinks at Sinew.
Do not listen. Luminous Adra is the life of the Deadfire. It can bring life to you, I say.
She rests her palm on Herwina's shoulders and dismisses you with a look.
Hail again, fellow bather.
Ganner. Boiler room? Oh my goodness. You're greeted by a tall, carefully composed man. The crescent moon center of his forehead glows faintly. Up close, the careful tailoring of his opal-adorned robes and the immaculate cleanliness speak to a deep well of vanity.
Welcome, welcome. I am Ganor, owner and proprietor of the Luminous Bathhouse. If there's any way I might make your visit more comfortable, you need only ask.
He clasps his hand and brow and playful smile tugging in the corner of his lips.
Your exchange with Amrio was observed. Such behavior is my responsibility. I've tripled his rates until he learns to conduct himself.
Ganner inclines his head. Do you know a boy named Degnus?
Casita Vetta's servant? The irritating one? Yes, he was here tending her just a few days ago.
Ganner waves his hand dismissively and rolls his eyes.
He tried to sneak into one of my rooms and told me a pathetic sob story when he was caught. I had the guards toss him out on the street.
I'd like to try your bath.
Of course you would. Just speak with the steward near the stairs. He will make certain you are treated well.
What do you have for sale? Oh, dang. None of that is actually good. All of it is pretty bad. Oh. Sweet. Let's take those guys. The new people.
You in here with me feeling all maroon-like?
Of course.
Have you tried the bathing pool? Kira, its waters allow you to absorb the powers of the dead.
You're too morbid, my friend. The Adra Ganor uses has been blessed by the gods, and it is their blessing that empowers you.
You have my attention.
Ahoy, Captain. What can I do you
Watcher, tell me what's on your mind. They're there, and sometimes I can taste them on the back. I'm glad we talked.
What? Let's get a move on.
So he's just a random dude.
Lest there's anything you need, please.
Oh, you poxy old salt. Spill what you know before we spill your guts.
Seraphin.
She smiles and expression from both sad and kind.
Primaro described you pointedly. He told me that you would come were you in danger.
Danger? Nay, not I. I do seek him, though, and I feel that he needs me. Feel it in the deep depths of my furry fun sack. If you care for him, you'll be telling me what you know.
He bade me not tell anybody of his plans, ye included. He's left this area, afeard of the danger he fishes on those near to him.
Seems Ramon didn't want you to find him, Seraphim. Perhaps you should leave it be.
He's the nearest thing I got to kin. Why didn't he trust me?
He did trust you. He trusted you wholly. I'll tell you, and trust you to con best what to make of the conning. Primaro treated me as galleon for mine clipper. A stuggy trade, surely, but he insisted that he needed the speed. I can't tell you what he intends, but he set sail for Sayuka, intending to replenish there. That's everything I con, for whatever good it does you.
He gave up the sorcerer? And for what? An elven clipper? Makes as much sense as Doug's on a Drake cap. He'd be easy catchings for any freebooter after his hide.
Who's hunting Ramaro besides Melange?
That salted cockfuss be the biggest threat, sure as shit. But others will want that bounty too. Not to mention a favour comes with it.
Strange that your good friend is trying so hard to avoid you. Seraphim brings nose twitching, his ears angle slightly back.
Surely thinks he's protecting me. Stubborn as I seem, Captain Watcher, Ramaro makes me look the dabbler.
We should hurry to Sayuka.
Aye, Cap, you've read my mind. And here with me thinking that were my skill in particular. Thank you mightily, lass. Enjoy the baths.
He bows to Udine.
Safe travels. The wages of war catch ye up soon or soon.
Okay then. Inside, I guess. I don't know. I didn't even bother reading any of that.
I'll see it done.
What are you doing? Get out!
I'll see it done.
$900 though. That's ridiculous. I don't know if I want to spend 900 just to.
Please, enjoy the baths. When you're ready to leave, I will provide you with a towel.
He winks. No thanks.
Please, enjoy the baths.
All of the male bodies have the same model, if they're of the same race, just different skin color. Yes, I pay attention.
Changing the color of your fur? Merkberries will stain your skin for weeks.
Oh, think I were born blue, eh? Think being this pretty come natural?
Well, dang, Seraphim. I never knew you were so fancy.
Yeah, but mayhaps I'll be giving them Merkberries a go. Ain't never been maroon before.
Okay. Alright, now every district is unlocked, right? Good. At the Brass Citadel docks. Oh, okay. Let's go to the Gullet then. Let's see what's here. We'll explore every district, get all the quests we can, and then decide to do them. You leave the bustle crowd behind, making your way along the winding path to the Gullet. For a time, the path ascends to the mountain. Even so, cramped walls run down the Huana building, closing around you, obscuring your view. You come out in dark passage, cutting through the mountain just wide enough to accommodate a wagon. The path descends steadily into the rock face. After a lengthy journey through the dimly lit tunnel, you come to the gate of a Gullet. The stench hits you first, a foul mixture of rot, stale air, and bodily odor. You notice a guardsman pushing a cart heaped high with moldering food, which must account for some of the smell. Ahead, the homes of the Gullet emerge as a collection of lights amidst the darkness. You hear the rush of water below, a frigid breeze waft up from the unseen depths like an exhalation.
Please, I did nothing.
You see a man drag along the rockery boardwalk towards the rusty cage that swings over the abyss. He strains against the guard's grip. The guard delivers a savage backhand.
Enough! Or do you wish to consign her to the old city as well?
The warrior casts a meaningful glance as the woman standing in the short distance away.
Let him go!
She screams at the guard, but she doesn't dare approach. The man notices her. His face lights up with shame.
Bia, I'm sorry.
Your tongue flops like a dying fish. I tire of its stink. Lower him down!
Shodi, I say, you stepped on...
The guard dragged the Raparo into the metal cage and locked him inside. He shouts and rattles the bars lower over the edge of the platform. Eventually, his screams are lost in the depths.
May Tangaloa devour your souls, you cold-blooded eels.
Well, okay then.
What crime could he have committed to deserve
Be
such
careful.
a fate?
The Gullet is no place for outsiders.
The Gullet is a place where... You know what? Let's talk to him. A guard hopeful folds his arm, watching the activity of the walkway through the slither eyes, a coral piercing just from his lower lip. He notices you with a sharp nod. Was that man... Why was that man sent below?
Potaro? He associated with foreign criminals.
He spits. The gob of saliva just hits one of those splotches on the weathered and modded boards.
I cannot be certain about Biha, so I let her go. But I will be watching her.
And this is punishable by death, or worse?
Teko's voice wavers.
That it is.
He nods with no small measure of pride.
These wicked sorts overrun the Gullet and corrupt the Raparu. Our justice must be swift and firm.
Where does this lift go?
To the old city, Ikira. A god's cursed ruin filled with walking corpses and abominations of the deep.
How can you consign your fellow woman or man to this fate?
We punish only those who cause trouble.
He speaks forcefully but stops himself when he gets the look of Teku.
Begging your pardon for my tones, sir. The Gullet is no place to wander. Watch yourself for rowdies and pirates.
Where's Biha now?
Hers is the first house you come to. Just there.
He points southwest across the walkway.
You'll probably find her there.
I want to access the lift to the old city.
Are you mad or merely lost? That place is a punishment for the lowest sort.
He waves a hand towards the exit.
Go and explore someplace with pleasant views and fresh air. The harbor, or Periki's Overlook.
Nekataka has a rich history, and some of it lies buried. I must see it for myself. He shakes his head.
It's your neck, Kira.
He whistles, and the guard standing by the lift looks over at him and nods.
We will leave the lift down there for half a day. That should be enough time to come back to your senses. After that, you are on your own. The guard will let you pass. Though I urge you to reconsider.
Okay.
Leave it to me.
Let's not mess with the lift that we're about to take down into the depths.
This is the Gullet? I had not realized.
Teheko glanced around wearing a distasteful expression. He raised an arm to cover his nose and mouth. Even Bright Niketa has its shadows, if you hadn't noticed.
The Mataru are supposed to take care of those below. This does not resemble care to me. Let us go on.
Teheko turned his gaze to the ground beneath his feet. Oh, sorry. He gestures ahead, but his hand shakes until he brings it down and clutches it with the other. Take him by the hand. It'll be okay. I'm here.
Captain, thank you. I needed this.
Teheko grip stiffens as you proceed together. Ha! Yes! We're gonna have sex with everyone in our party, okay? Except Eder. That damn bastard. I tried doing that in the first game, didn't work out very well.
Was taking Bataro not enough for you?
A woman thrashes a row of tunics and showering hangings from the rafter. Her pointed teeth are gritted with frustration, her lips set in a snarl. The clothes are spotless, and yet she swings a handful of reeds against it again and again, grunting with each blow. Several children held her together, whispering and looking on with red, tearful eyes.
Bataro is gone. Dead. What more do you want?
She punctured each statement with fierce whack of the reeds. The children flinched, looking between you and the woman. Take a deep breath, and let's talk about this, whatever it is, calmly. She looks at you for the first time. A fraction of her anger burns off.
Forgive me. I thought you were with the guards who took him. Other casts never visit here.
She looks pointedly at Teheko.
Do the gods pay a visit to mock my misfortune? Or is Sacred Stair overcrowded?
Forgive the intrusion. We were just leaving. That is, giving you space to grieve.
So many crowd into the gullet and you worry about space.
She laughs bitterly.
The village was not like this. Why does Queen Onikaza not send the foreigners away?
How do you know the man who was lowered into the old city? One of the children starts to say something, but Biha shoots him a sharp glare. She turns back to you, arms crossed, gripping the reed bundle tightly.
Bataro is punished already, I say. Whatever offense he gave, do not hang it on our necks.
She begins swatting at the laundry again, though with considerably less gusto. I know you're scared, but I'm not here to harm you.
We say the only thing that live in these depths are ghost eels. And fish eaten by ghost eels. Which are you?
She turns away from you, striking the Sarang harder and harder. Teheko flinches with each blow, fascinated, even as he shrinks back in discomfort.
The traders say they bring riches in their big ships.
The fabric pops and snaps beneath her fury. Sweat is flying, splatting the clean sarong.
But what reaches the gullet? Only crime and sickness, I say.
She pauses to take another couple of swings at the sarong.
The Rawatayans promise marvels, strong walls, and plenty for all.
She moves on to the next tunic, thrashing it with even greater fury.
Akira, still my back aches from building their fort, and still I live here. And Bataro said we would finally leave.
What happened?
I heard a Rawatayan captain took up at the tavern. Suduzo, they call her. They say she is a traitor, so I thought maybe she will take passengers. Bataro went and found her in the tavern.
Her eyes go dark and hard.
Next I see him, the guards are dragging him to the cage.
Can you take a different ship? She shakes her head.
Many ships leave from Queen's Birth, but the Valiants take slaves.
She lowers her voice and glances furtively around.
They say the Principe smuggle goods in the caverns below, but I cannot trust such people. But the Rawatayans have mighty cannons, and a big homeland they abandoned for ours. Perhaps there is more room for us there.
Maybe I can talk to Suduzo. She looks at you with the same critical eye she was giving her laundry, wringing and tugging the reeds.
They say many Rawatayan captains are women. Maybe her ears will open better to you.
She looks around, taking in the hangar clothes and huddled children, and the warped and splintered walls of the shack around them.
Bataro took some coin. Everything he scraped together working on the docks. When he went to bargain with the captain. I would offer it to you, but it is probably in the old city with Bataro. Or in someone else's pocket.
Tell me about the Rautian captain.
Seduzo.
Biha folds her wreath so tightly that she snaps one in two.
They say she is a traitor, so I thought maybe she will take passengers. But she threw Bataro out.
She looks down at the broken reed in her hand.
Always Bataro was careful with his words, just like you. But a Raparu in Nekataka gives offense just by breathing the air of his betters.
I could look for Bataro.
I could never ask someone to go down to the old city, but since you offer...
She trails off, working the reeds between her hands while hope and dread battle in her eyes.
It is a big and dangerous place. But perhaps he hid himself. Perhaps...
She steadies herself with a shake of her head.
Please, help him if you can. Or bring me news if you cannot.
How many of you need passage to Rautai?
We are 6. 3 children, 2 babes, and me.
Does no one else from the cast look after them?
Akira. It was so in the village, where Bataro and me came from. But here, we are all strangers. No one looks in on the sick or cares for the children.
How many do you need to... Oh, okay. Why is that still highlighted?
We are 6. 3 children, 2 babes. Such a strange question. A Raparu child is the child of all Raparu. At least that is the way in the village where Bataro and me came from. But here, we are all strangers. We are 6. My village was not like this. Why does Queen Onikaza not send the foreigners away?
Tell me about the stash of coin Bataro had. Worry creases over her face, sizes you up a quick look.
I tell you, I do not know where it is. And I am sure it would be little to someone like you.
She licks her lips.
After what happened, Bataro would sooner have thrown it into the waters than given it to the Mataru or the Rautians. If it is anywhere, it is surely with his body.
Okay. Whew! Tons of quests.
They took him. For what? Bataro's the 2nd this month.
And they say the pittings aren't increasing. Do they like
Traveler,
themselves?
have you any
Just to
food?
us?
You've a scrap to spare.
Who'll be left to suffer the Mataru's up?
A gaunt Rapara woman grabs for your leg. She spawns for you, weak grips, fingers bone thin and trembling.
Mercy, traveler. Never have I been so hungry.
Major negative to gullet. Yeah, let's not do that. Maybe you should seek paying work. There are places that will sell even a vagrant food. Additionally, even cracks from her throat.
Many Raparu come from other islands these days. They are strong and capable workers. Not like me, but they too tithe to the prize share.
What do you mean? She shakes her head.
Forgive me, I say too much. If you would know more, ask Inoi. Our elder listens to those in need, and he speaks. Out of earshot of the guards. He's there. In the house to the right when you cross the bridge. He can speak of the hunger.
Her quavering arm points out towards the southeast. Do you not have access to food?
Always there is prize share. The pile has grown leaner these years. Little falls to our pile that is not rotten or sour from this week and maybe before.
Who's the leader around here? She chuckles darkly.
The gullet is a lawless place. Forgotten. The only authority here is the Matarus, and they don't work on our behalf. But if it is a wise man you want, seek Inoi in his home. He tries to keep us safe and fed. He does not always succeed, but he does try. Trying's worth a lot down here.
Here, have some food. The woman snatches the food from your hand with a surprising speed, her eyes darting and glance at onlooker before she shoves it in between her teeth. She nods desperately, swallowing, chokes, chews again, and speaks with a mouth half full from the next bite. Pork.
Thank you. I'll share it, I swear. Thank you, traveler.
Positive. I love it. A little food for some reputation. Worth.
The Queen calls these rations. Does she expect the Raparu to subsist on garbage?
You're right, it's awful. Teheku swallows and diverts his gaze away from the pile.
That Dawnstar may be able to help. What say?
Help how? Poison me? Akira, no thanks.
Forsaken Kitty! You're mine now. All defenses against bodily affliction, mind affliction attacks. What? No. I select my poodle. That poodle is really great. Pitley Sanctuary. Ooh, it's almost midnight. Okay, this will be the last house we do. The woman bends over a pile of dried, bitter-smelling herbs. She crushes and smashing them on a dirty scrap of parchment, coughing with effort. She steps in front of you to block your way, whipping a ragged sleeve across her rheumy, bloodshot eyes. As she does, her hood slips and you glimpse the 3 faded stars in her forehead, the emblem of the Children of Darnstars.
Paintley? Good God, I nearly didn't recognize you. You look more death-warmed over than Dawnstar.
I didn't see you there, Shody. Listen, you and your friends should move along.
She turns her head and stifles a rough, croupy cough.
I'm not feeling so good, and I'd hate to get you sick.
Are you ill? You hear a muffled hacking and unsteady rhythm of labored, wheezing breath coming from the back of the room.
Nothing a little ginger root and some bed rest won't cure. Please, let me be.
She takes another, blocking your view from the room beyond. The herbs given off the table odor scratches your throat. Blood moss and cave coral, that combination clear mucus from the lungs. Someone must be very sick.
Could use your skill at the Temple of Gone.
Her chuckle turns into a cough.
Could use it here.
She wipes a fleck of blood from her mouth. Oh dear.
There's some sick Raparu in the back. Not much I can do for them now besides keep them comfortable.
She looked at the crimson speckle on her wrist.
And hidden.
In my village, the sick went to the other side of the mountain. Is there nowhere deeper you can flee?
It's better than leaving them to wander the district. I can give them a dignified death, if nothing else.
Why are you hiding sick people?
Because they've got Drowner's lung. Spreads like gossip and kills even faster.
Drowner's lung? The name of the actual disease is slipping my mind. What's Drowner's lung?
A gift from the Valians.
She scowls, dabbing the room from her eyes.
Fills your lungs with fluid. Gets you coughing all the time, trying to clear them. One of my patients coughed so hard, she broke a rib.
It's not yellow fever, right?
Eventually, it gets so bad, you can't hack it out. You just lie there, struggling for breath, until you choke on your own phlegm. I hear it's a long, hard end.
She chills off for a moment, distant look in her watering eyes.
I heard some Raparu had gotten sick, so I brought them here to care for them. City healers don't come down here.
She frowns and gives her nose a vicious swipe.
The Raparu have no healers of their own?
Teheko pulls at one of the long straight hair, frowning. She shakes her head.
These people are laborers and fishers. Many aren't even Kahanga. Wound up here after raiders and slavers tore their own tribes apart.
She turns back to you.
Anyway, I realized what was wrong when I heard the rattle in their chests. The way they gasped for air.
She wipes the back of her hand on her leg and shoulders, and shudders.
Only cure is an elixir made with pine seed oil. It costs a lot, though not nearly as much as an epidemic. Still, if news of this outbreak gets out, these poor souls will get tossed into the old city. No one with any money in Nekataka spends it on the Raparu.
There's good reason for that. If the disease spread, it could kill many more.
And if the other castes took care of the Raparu, they wouldn't get sick like this. Anyway, there's a cure.
Her filmy eyes shine.
You can get nearly anything on Delver's Row. Only trouble is finding it. And paying for it. Unfortunately, the children of the Dawnstars don't have many connections in this part of town.
She turns away, whooping and hacking into her arm.
But you might. Not meaning any offense, just that you seem like someone who's comfortable on that side of town. If not, I bet you could find someone at the tavern who knows where Delver's Row is. Criminal types like to wet their throats after a long day of lying, cheating, and stealing.
She chuckles herself into another coughing fit. What interests do the children of Dawnstar have in the gullet?
About the only honest one. The Raparu here are treated like garbage. Even made to eat garbage from that scrap heap opposite the lift.
She shakes her head.
And Dario and his Principe scum took advantage of the neglect down here to set up the black market on Delver's Row.
Dario.
He runs most of the criminal mischief that goes on here. Some say he's an old Valian traditionalist. Some say he's a thug with good taste.
She holds her hand out, shifting her open palm like a platform on a scale.
Either way, I steer clear of him.
She shivered, whether out of fear or illness, she couldn't say.
All the while, the gullet gets more crowded as tribes from the other islands come to Nekataka. Some are driven from their homes by pirates, raiders, even trading company thugs.
Her eyes darken.
Others hear stories of the foreign wealth pouring into the city. What they don't realize is most of it flows between the foreigners and the palace.
She makes circular motion toward circular motion with her finger. So the Dawnstars are helping out.
As best we can. Most of us came from Raid Saris after the Vorlis Plot and the Saints War. Or we were born to families that did. We remember what it's like to scrape by.
Her eyes stray from the stained and spotted floor for a long moment. Then maybe Delver's Row spread some of the wealth down here.
That's what Dario and his people say. They recruit Raparu to sneak things from the docks, report on meetings between traders. I can't blame the Raparu. Not when the alternative is eating from a trash pile. But I don't trust these Principe any more than I do the trading companies.
She folds her arms, shaking her head.
Difference being, lass, the Raparu be their customers and confederates alike. To the company bilge barnacles, they be only product.
He taps the end of his snout.
And whenever the city authorities finally crack down, the Raparu will be caught in the middle.
I see.
Some days, I think maybe this is why Aethys brought us to Deadfire. So we can do some good. Other days, I'm too damn tired.
She arches her back, propping her spine. What interest does the Dawnstar have in... Oh, I already asked that.
And Dario and his Principe with Aethys need something.
Okay. All right then. But it's midnight.
Now I've dreamed of this place.
Midnight and have things to do tomorrow. We'll finish the rest of the exploration of this place later. Yeah, we still have Taylor's home and Noe's home, the hole, whatever that is. And we also have the Narrows to go into. Okay. Alright. Well, that was a good 5 hours-ish of gameplay. I think that's good enough for today. And I also realized that this guy right here...
Wonder what Pa's up to.
Is just a character. He doesn't really have, like, conversations or anything. Like, from what I can tell, right? He's not even in the list of, like, the people that I can recruit. So, yeah, I don't think I want him. Because he's not an important person. Okay. Well, I'll switch him out for one of the actual people, I suppose. But, until then, let's just save here. But that's it. I'm gonna go have dinner at midnight, I know, and go to sleep.